comes down to the teams who want it the most, okay? All year you guys have fought, kicked, scratched, you did everything you had to win big games and come up with big plays. That's what champions are about. Guys who make the big plays, you guys deserve this. Congratulations. Guys, a lot of times in games like this, comes down to the teams who want it the most, okay? All year you guys have fought, kicked, scratched, you did everything you had to win big games and come up with big plays. That's what champions are about. Guys who make the big plays, you guys deserve this. Congratulations.
Hey everybody, this is Ron Fitch, and this is the New Jersey High School Basketball Report, and I wanted to talk about the footage you just saw of Elizabeth celebrating at Linden when they defeated the Linden Tigers 49-47. It was a very good game. Linden led, I would say, for 3 quarters. They got jumped on Elizabeth. I thought they would too. 14-5 early. The game settled in. And then the last quarter, 16-14, it was tied up, 16-14. They ended up winning that quarter. Sebastian Robson, 16 points in the second half. He made the and one, or he always makes the big plays. He made the and one that gives them the lead. And with 5 seconds left, Jalen Hodge gives the ball to Merville, who's been shooting it well, just missed a shot, and Elizabeth wins, and they've won on the road. They went to Watchung Hills, tough place. They went to JB Stevens, took care of business. Went to Watchung Hills, very, very tough building. Then they went to a really tough building in Newark Eastside and won. Then they went to the toughest building in public school in New Jersey to win, in Linden, and they won there on Phil Colicchio Court, which is there's a lot going on. I have a good friend named Mark Manutz. He is, I call him my sports best friend. You know, you have regular best friends, and they have guys in sports you see, and you just like talking about the game, high school with him. And we talked about the game and what happened. And Elizabeth ends up coming out on top, and they're moving on to play a game Ridgewood team. They shoot the ball well. They're scrappy. I slightly favor Elizabeth because they're home, but it can't be a let up because you're playing a team that plays as hard as you do, and they're as hungry, and they're not phased because Hackensack put pressure on them and they were breaking, but Hackensack's pressure is not Elizabeth's. So I believe if Elizabeth is not let down, can't be a letdown state tournament, you go home. You let down, you get beat. Ask St. Peter's. You let down after you beat your rival, you get beat. So Elizabeth can't afford that, or they'll get beat. And Elizabeth will have to continue playing as good as they did on the road at home and take care of business, and then move on to, if they are able to win, I believe it's going to be Lenape, which is going to play a really good Marlboro team. But Lenape's got the star player for Rutgers. He did what he had to do. They're going to be, because they're big. They're bigger than the teams in North. So that's going to be problematic if they ended up getting out of their group. It's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. But I like Elizabeth in that game. But I do want to talk about Elizabeth and Linden. It's just a lot of emotion because Phil won 6 state titles in Linden. I mean, he's an Elizabeth guy. I'm an Elizabeth guy. He came over. It was funny. When he came over to coach Elizabeth, I wanted to support him. So I did pull for him, and that means you pull for Linden. A lot, I won't say a lot, but there was a handful of Elizabeth people who follow Elizabeth, who are Phil people. So you saw the Elizabeth contingency at a lot of Linden games over the years. So when Phil came back, he's back home. We're back home. But the emotion, the friends you make at Linden. So it's just I hate these games because I love everybody on both sides. But there's emotion, there's dislike. I'm pretty sure people are not crazy about Phil, and Phil is not as crazy about the people that they're at Linden. They were able to win and celebrate. It was going to be elation or heartbreak, one way or the other. And it was elation this time for Elizabeth. It was heartbreak for Linden. But I did talk to Mark, and he told me that they're young. So this is going to be a rivalry that's going to be around because Elizabeth's young too. They got one senior, and Linden's got a nice JV team. And they're, so that's going to be the two teams to watch out for in Group 4 coming next year. But for as far as this year, this is a great opportunity for Elizabeth and Phil, provided they take care of business. And they got a super duper, if they win, they're a super duper tough matchup with Lenape, and even whichever team comes at it. I believe it's going to be Lenape. They beat Elizabeth in a close game. That's a tough matchup at Rutgers, but they're on a mission. They won all. They're battle tested. They won all these tough road games, so they're not going to be phased. And Richelieu is starting to be that second guy, and now they're getting a little more contributions from Jules, tip ins and scores inside. So they're finding themselves offensively a little bit, and they're going to have to when they play the big boys coming up. One of the best performances in the state this year came from junior Jordin Collins of Rutgers Prep, defeating St. Thomas Aquinas. I had picked St. Thomas by 1, but Rutgers Prep led throughout this entire game. And my guy, Adam Salas, did not have a good game. He wasn't up to his normal standards. But Rutgers Prep came out and they ran with St. Thomas. But they also were scoring inside. They were playing a good inside-out game. Their offense was their half-court offense was better than St. Thomas. And they could have had a bigger lead, but they made a couple of missed threes, couple of missed layups opportunities where they could have really widened the lead. That just kept Aquinas 10, 8, 6 points in the game, and it got closer. He got the 3, and then every time it got close, this kid would make an amazing Jordin Collins would make an amazing play, a couple of great and ones, strong with the dribble, getting around the on the ball half court pressure that the guards of St. Thomas applied. And they're good at getting steals, but they weren't getting it from this kid. He was spectacular, and I was thinking Salas was going to be the best player in the court, but he was not. It was this kid. 30 points, 10 rebounds, 7 steals, 4 assists, 1 block. My gosh. And they need it. Winning 68-59. I believe they're going to beat Red Bank Catholic, and they're going to get in. But every time that game got close, Rutgers Prep had an answer. Here is the interviews I had with the coach and the star player.
Let's go! Let's go! Okay, I got Jordin Collins, the man of the hour. What do you think the key was in this game?
Defense, definitely defense. Our team just works so hard at defense. We communicate, we help, and that's just we get offense from our defense. So I think that's just our thing.
Your help defense on one of the best scorers in the state, Adam South, is outstanding.
Yeah. I think if we just do what we do, we can beat anybody. That's my opinion.
Was part of the game you coming downhill off those high screens? Because every time they made a comeback, you would come downhill either to make a spectacular and one play or a dish for a 3-point shot.
My team relies on me to make those tough buckets in tough situations, and they relied on me this game, and I did what they needed me to do.
Okay, what do you have to do to win the states? Because it's very competitive, but you guys beat one of the tougher teams in the whole state in their gym. So what do you have to do to keep this momentum going?
Easy. Do the same thing we've been doing. Communicate, play our defense, share the ball, and just have fun.
Thank you. Hey,
Good backdrop.
here at the New Jersey Sports Show, I'm here with Coach Matt Blue. That was a heck of a coach game. I just want to compliment you on that.
Oh, thank you. It's not about me though. It's about that group in there, and they stuck with it. They played for each other, and awesome feeling.
Was part of the game. Now they're a running team, but you guys decided to run with them in the first half.
Oh no, we're a running team, so they got to keep up with us. And that's what we talked about. We wanted to run, and we wanted to keep them out of transition, and we did a pretty good job with that.
But what you did, you ran smart. You didn't let it get scatterbrained.
We talked about them running in transition and what leads to that. So we wanted to be smart with the ball. We wanted to take great shots, and for the most part, we did that. That's a very good team, and
yes,
a lot of respect to them.
But in the second half, it turned more into a rock fight in a half-court game, and they made a comeback. But every time they made a comeback, you had a basket.
We got a great shot, and Jordin Collins made some big up plays on offense. So we did what it takes, and it's March. That's what you get in March.
But that's my next question. How good was Jordin Collins?
He was outstanding, and I kept telling him he grew up tonight. He really did, and he did incredible things and made big-time plays when we really needed them.
Finally, what do you guys have to do for me to interview you again at Rutgers when you win the state title? What do you have to do to get to that point?
Just come find me. we want to keep playing, and we just talked. I love this group, and I want to keep it going.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Okay, Bergen Catholic beat up on St. Peter's Prep, 66-45. They jumped on them. They were up 10 at the half. Mark Armstrong got 19 points, but they probably needed like 50 out of them because Bergen's a better team. And they didn't make the same mistakes that Hudson made. They got the lead. And I said if Hudson got a 10-point lead, because St. Peter's is not as well-rounded offensively with their players, they would be able to win. They didn't. Bergen took care of business because you got Will Richardson and Julian Brown, that great two-guard combination, as good as you get in the state. 19 points, Richardson, Brown 18, and they took care of business. And now it's round 4. Bergen Catholic versus Don Bosco. Here we go again. Bosco got him the first 2 times. Bergen got him in the championship 71-64. Wow. What are we going to, how is this gonna shake out? Bosco won by a point the first time. Bergen's playing a lot better. Listen, Dylan Harper's a big-time player. His bloodlines with Ron Harper Jr., Ron Harper Sr., his father and his brother. He's balling out. Isaiah Redmond and Nick Koch. Nick Koch is sneaky quick. I did get to see him play. They got a nice team. But Bergen Catholic has got those 2 dudes, Will Richardson and Julian Brown. Them are 2 pit bulls. And Brown is a guy, he loves the spotlight. Richardson has been great all 4 years. Been great when they were in the state championship his freshman year. Been great every year of his high school career. I don't think it's going to change. Bergen gets by barely. I believe Bergen wins at the end of the game, maybe a last-second shot, or they stop Bosco. Bergen has a little more experience. Bosco's probably a year away. I love Bosco. Bosco can beat Bergen, but I just think Bergen, they lost to Bosco twice in the regular season, but they beat him in the playoffs. Now they're going to beat him again when it matters. I do believe that. So I'm going to ride Bergen. Gill and Roselle Catholic. This is kind of like the Linden Elizabeth situation. Can the team that hasn't beat the other team ever get through that threshold of finally getting through? Phil Colicchio was 8-0, leaving Linden, playing, coaching at Elizabeth, beating Linden 8 times. Roselle Catholic has beaten up Gill, and it's been end of plays, a lot of times just barely getting past it. They beat Mulcahy by a point. Gill has always been so close. And a lot of times that Roselle Catholic's got them. They got them the one time when they were up 10, and Wilcher's brother, who's at Nebraska, just destroyed them in the fourth quarter. And they were a little better athletically. Not this time, because they had Cliff Amari and Corey Floyd Jr. and Niels Lane. So they had some dudes, Rosa Catholic. Now both teams have dudes, Anglin and Mackenzie Macabo, who's their guy, because you got Macabo and Welcher and Jamarcus Lawrence. So you got some, and Achille Watson, and him, Watson and Macabo is a great matchup because they're both like 6'4" guards. Anglin has been there. He's seen the hurt that Rosa Catholic has inflicted. Gil St. Bernard is built to win this game. The thing about Rosa Catholic is they always find a way to win these games. They could be down 5, they could be up 5. It doesn't matter. I think it's, Coach Boff, because he's such a calm guy, I think he instills that spirit in those kids so they're calm under pressure. They just find a way they could steal a game or they could hold on to the game. Can Gil break through and be that team that makes the big play, makes the big stop? And if they do, whoever wins is going to win the parochial B. Let's face it. Come on. I like teams in the South, but no. This is the state championship tomorrow. Whenever you hear this broadcast, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, this is the state championship. Rosa Catholic versus Gil. But I laid out keys to both. I think Gil's got to figure out how to get through, because these teams are evenly matched. So when you see evenly matched teams in a neutral site, who's going to make free throws? Who's going to not make that big turnover? Who's going to hit that shot? Who's going to hit the tough shot in the lane? Who's going to get that key rebound that gives your team the second possession? You saw the Elizabeth Rosa Catholic County game where they got the second possession and he was able to hit the shot, Akil Watson. And Rosa Catholic was able to take care of freaking business. And Akil Watson is money under pressure. And also Christian Pierre-Louis is a good defender. But Nasir Cunningham gives the Gil length. And they're going to need that against Rosa Catholic because they always maybe were a guy or two for us athletically short. But I think Coach Cena kind of did a paradigm shift where he said, I'm going to sacrifice super duper efficiency for athleticism so I could try to get this game that I can't win. And that would be good for his legacy. His legacy's really good, but it'd be outrageously good if he won. But Rosa Catholic, they win. Okay. This is the culture. This is what they do. Ever since they beat St. Anthony's that first time, they've kind of been the new version of St. Anthony's as far as winning states and always pulling out games under pressure.